Greetings and welcome to my little fibery corner of the internet. My name is Bobby Olin and I am primarily a knitter, but I also just generally love crafts, especially all fiber crafts. So today I am here to share with you not a knitting adventure. I am here to share with you a weaving adventure. So I have here a vintage toy loom that I purchased online a little while ago. It is the Spears Weaving Loom size 4, and I had done one little just test weave on it previously, which I sewed up into a pouch, which is this here, with just a bit of like loose fringe, and I just pretty much folded it in half and seamed it. In here I have some tools for weaving. So I have a smaller shuttle that I made because I will not always be needing the shuttles that came with my loom, which are the full width of the loom, which is something like 18 inches. So today I'm going to be using this smaller one that I cut just out of thick box board because my project isn't going to be very wide. I also have in here, I've seen other weavers online using these combs just as another way to manually beat their weaving, beat their wefts. So I've got that in here too. I've also got a couple of crochet hooks, some tapestry needles, just gathering the few bits and pieces that I already have in my crafting stash, but that I will specifically use for weaving. So like I have said, this is the only thing that I have done so far, but I am now going to be working on my first real project. So this was just using scraps and just to see how the loom was set up and how it works. So today I'm going to making an actual project, which is just a simple plain weave scarf that I am going to be giving as a gift. So it's a child scarf, and I'm going to be using this 4 Seasons pure wool naturals. So the child that I am making this scarf for, their favorite color is black. So I picked this color, which is called ebony. It is really just a dark gray, but I really just love tweedy yarns, so I couldn't go past this one, which is just one from Spotlight. So it is 90% superwash wool, 7% acrylic, 3% viscose. It is nice and soft, washable, because like I keep saying, it's for a kid, so it's likely to get messy probably, and my sister, the parent of the kid, will maybe need to chuck it in the washing machine here and there, who knows, but I just wanted to get something super wash and affordable for this project. So I am going to be just taking you with me along this adventure of learning to weave and practicing some of the techniques that I have watched online, looking at YouTube videos, courses on Craftsy. I've also learned a bit from the School of Sweet Georgia, and I'm just sort of just trying to apply the things that I have learned and what I remember to this toy loom. I should stop calling it a toy loom because I am treating it like a real loom, and it is quite good quality. It's sturdy, and it has it's a rigid heddle loom. So this is the reed here with the wire heddles. And today I am going to be doing a direct warping method. So if I just adjust your view here a little so you can see my loom. Oops. So that's it there. I have it clamped to the back of my bench here. We are just a little bit squashed into the corner, and this is kind of the only spot where I can walk around the table and reach around to the back and then come around to the front as well. So I have a basket just sitting behind the table here because the wall just pushes out a bit there. So I have a basket sitting there which I will be placing my yarn in to do the direct warping. And I'm not sure if you can see, probably not, but this the back beam and the front beam both have slots in them. If that isn't clear, I'll try to put a photo of it, but if you can see, the slots are just on one side. One of the sides beside it is just completely smooth, and then the other side there is a groove, and that is just so when you are warping, your yarn can just loop around each of those grooves and it will hold it in place, rather than if you had a loom that had an apron rod, for example. Your yarn would have to be going around the rod. With this one, you can just slot it into the grooves and straight back over, if that is making sense. So that's my loom. That is what we are going to be looking at today. So I will stop blathering and let's get started. I will say just one more thing. We are in my craft burrow, as I like to call it, and please ignore all of the mess. This is how it normally looks. I've got bits and pieces everywhere, and just enjoy the natural state of my crafting. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, I am going to reposition the camera because I need to be walking around there where I've got you set up now to do the direct warping. So I will reposition the camera, and let's get to direct warping, and hope I do that correctly. All right, here we go. All right, I am set up and ready to start direct warping. I have found the end of the yarn that is in the center of the ball that I am using, and I have measured from the back beam of my loom to a point 2 meters away. So over here I had to just set up a little table. Please excuse my awkwardness. I am still wearing my moon boot, and I've had to tie some slippers together so that I am not lopsided when I'm walking. So I'm looking a bit daggy, but it's all a bit uncomfortable, but I am trying to heal a broken toe. Anyway, I've set up a small table here, and I have just, if you can see, like a rod here. So this is actually the clamp that came with my yarn swift. And it just has a straight rod here, and I've just got it upside down on this table at a point that's 2 meters away from the back beam of my loom. So I am just going to be warping onto that. So I'll be dropping this cake into that's the end that I'm using, so I'm just dropping it into a basket. Sorry for the very not pretty background we've got here, but like I said, this is my crafting space and it is what it is, and I love it. It got all of my things in it, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm very lucky to have a craft room at all. So let's just get to warping. So that weaving project is done. It took me, I didn't actually time how many hours it took me, but I spent a bit of time over a few days just doing that plain weave. This is all of the loom waste, which I'm pretty happy about. It isn't much. It is less than 1 gram. And I think because, I mean, I don't really know, but it could be because of how the loom is actually constructed with those notches on it. I feel like there wasn't as much loom waste because there wasn't all of the wrapping around a rod. Who knows? That is just my theory, because it just hooks around the back and comes straight off instead of wrapping around something. I feel like that helped minimize the loom waste, and I also had quite a lengthy fringe on it, so that may have helped as well. So I'm really happy with how minimal the waste is there. This is all of the yarn that is left. So when I did my initial calculations, it was using up most of the yarn. I think one thing that it didn't account for was how much the yarn stretches. So I'm not sure if you're going to be able to make this out here, but when I did all of the calculations, it was saying that I had to have a 2-meter warp length to account for all of the shrinkage, the loom waste, and the fringe. And that did work out to be perfect for what I ended up doing, but I did also end up weaving longer than I had originally planned to, because there was just so much warp left on the loom. So I think part of the reason those calculations may be wrong is because I was basing them on just the yarn as it is in its natural state, and not this stretched state that the warp would have been on the loom. So when you wind it on, you have that quite tight and taut, so that you get a nice even fabric without all of these, you know, wavy knobbly bits and stuff. But because that stretched so much, you can kind of make it out there. Because it stretched so much, it made the warp that much longer. So I didn't need to use as much of it as I had calculated. At least that's my theory. And also I think I accounted for a lot more loom waste than I actually ended up having. So I'll have to adjust that for the next project that I plan. Anyway, this is it here. So I put this, once I had finished, I put it in the washing machine just on a spin and rinse cycle, which was 15 minutes. And it was a bit stiff when I first took it off the loom, but putting it in the machine did soften it up, and it feels really nice now. So I'll just try to get you a good look at the fringe there. And I think it's come out really nice. I also, like I have said before, I just love tweed yarn, and I just love, I think it also just helps to hide any little imperfections. Plus, you know, all of those neps are just beautiful. But after I took it out of the washing machine, I just snipped off all of the little ends of where I had joined weft, and I think it looks lovely. So this is going to be gifted to my nephew, who is turning 6. It was originally planned to be 115 centimeters long. I had just looked up sort of guides on how long children's scarves should be, and it was something like it should be the height of the child itself. So I just looked at the average height of a 6-year-old. He is quite little though, as am I. It obviously runs in the family. He is quite little, so this may be quite long for him, especially because I did end up doing it longer than I had planned, like I said before. But I kind of justified that by saying that he can grow into it, and he can continue using this scarf for many years to come. That is the hope. So yes, so when I wove it to 160 centimeters on the loom. So when I took it off the loom, it immediately shrunk down to just under 150 centimeters long. And then after I washed it, the final result is 143 centimeters long. So the shrinkage on the warp is about 12%. The shrinkage on the weft, so the width of it, I'm not sure if I might have calculated that or measured it wrong and not been paying proper attention when it was on the loom. Because on the loom it was 14 centimeters, and then when I took it off the loom it was about 15 centimeters, and washing didn't really change that. It's still 15 centimeters wide, which was my intended width. But I haven't heard, in the very little I've looked up all of this stuff, I haven't heard of weaves growing rather than shrinking, but who knows? Either way, I'm really happy with how that has turned out. Oh look, you can see light through it. I think it's quite a nice fabric. Give you another close-up look there. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I know that it's not gonna be like a favorite gift or anything like that. He's 6 years old. He'll appreciate all of the toys and fun things more, but I do hope that he does like it and use it. I was told that his favorite color is black, so hopefully he'll like that gift there. And I guess that's all that I have to say about this weaving project. I already have plans for the next one, so I guess I will see you again then. So long.